All right, just talking about the game plan here on out going into the weekly close. This weekly close is really uncertain with that pullback we've had. Right now, I blame it on the Euro index and just kind of now we're into some kind of chop box between two breaker boxes, breaker blocks on the 12 hour. And if anything, we were between two breaker blocks on the daily too. It could be the disaster move. I don't know. I think it's a little early, but it definitely looks like it's gonna kind of retest, and we could see if we break the current breaker box to the upside, and we go for the second one. But who knows? This could be the nail in the coffin for the whole trade. But we're gonna make an assumption, like myself. I'm gonna make an assumption that it's not, and that we're actually gonna fulfill the forecast. But that's definitely dangerous thinking. So, going into kind of like the plan, uh, you know, I got positions on for Bitcoin that are for a bullish position. I got positions bullish for bullish. I think I got rid of the bullish ones on the euro. I just got the shorts in, and that are hedged. It's pretty much like a fixed spread now. But the positions I got bullish are the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, and if those two don't make it through the weekend, then I'm pretty much toast. Just because of the hedge takes up a good amount of just I guess swaying power, or I don't know, but it just feels like it's overcrowded on my like trade box. So we're gonna see what happens. Right now we broke down on the 1 hour, and the goal is maybe if we do break to the upside and we have a strong weekly close, and we actually start going for that forecast, the goal would be to maybe add. Now it brings in the question, like, do we really add, and do we need to? Is it unnecessary? And then like it kind of brings into question the cojones of the trade, or the trader. And I'm pushing my leverage percentage. I typically don't like to go under 1,000, and if I were to start adding more positions long, I feel like, I don't know, it might endanger myself. And I think I already have a huge position. If the position reached the target, I'm expecting somewhere in the ballpark of 10 grand. It is like a lot. So, and the risk that I have currently is a lot. Just because I'm doing position trading, I'm not doing like traditional stop losses. I'm doing it based off of like weekly closes and market structure overall in context with the forecast. So I want to see what the weekly close is. That would be, people do invalidation differently, and especially if you're doing position trading, you're going to do your invalidation differently. And mine is definitely, where is the weekly close this week? Is it below the breakout point of the weekly breakout resistance, the one we broke out of, specifically here? Are we going to close below it, or are we going to close above it? Invalidation for the bullish view would be we close below it, and I just pretty much ditch the trade. If we close the weekly above the weekly resistance, I would say it's got legs, and we keep it on, and we just let it run. And this is kind of why I'm like hesitant to add more. Like first I added S&P 500, and then I started adding Bitcoin long positions, and they both look precarious. Like it could break down, or it could break out to the upside, and depending on where we close on the week, that's kind of how I see it. And we could also take a look at Bitcoin, but that's pretty much the plan. And then also the invalidation. The The plan is just try to figure out where we close out in the week. I'm a little precarious about my Bitcoin positions though, because holding over the weekend with the leveraged index is just our leveraged stock exchange where it's closed on the weekends. It feels precarious. And we've pretty much closed back in the range of it becoming holding as resistance. So the structural look of it right now is bearish because we pretty much wicked from this resistance and it looks like we're bouncing off of it. But at the same time, we also got forecasts on the daily for us to reach on Bitcoin its target of 34 grand. So you're trying to reconcile, like, how's that going to work? So you either take the bet or you don't. And could you absorb the drawdown? Like, that's kind of the question if you're position trading. And right now, I'm just kind of taking the risk, which is not really the best move because that's really reckless. But I don't know. I'm kind of having a lot of belief in this forecast and the idea that all of them are going to be in sync with each other and go up at the same time. And we've exhausted the lows. That's my understanding, is that we have a huge chance to rotate to the upside. If we look at, there's different oscillators we could use and market structure break that we could use. From the point of view of a market structure break, Bitcoin, where are we holding? We're way below the daily. We broke on, let's see, we don't have a 12-hour. This is Euro USD. Where's Bitcoin? This is like shuffled. Okay, here we are. So we broke on the daily on Bitcoin. It doesn't look good on terms of like a breaker block perspective. It looks like we're going to go all the way down here. And that's possible over the weekend. It could totally get crushed. I mean, that's what it's saying to do. It's saying to short. In I don't know, the forecast, I'm just thinking that maybe it's a fake out. I'm believing. So if we were to actually go down here in 26,099, that means we would break the weekly breaker. And to me, this weekly breaker is really significant. And I'm thinking that we're pretty close to just exhausting this move. If we don't close the week below here, then I say it's exhausted and we're actually going to pick up. But I kind of want to see where it could potentially go. And it's saying that it could go to these lows, equal low, and that's it. And then it looks like it's still, we already broke to the upside on like a small time frame. And it looks like it wants to come and touch this liquidity, this naked one. So I have no idea where it's going to close on the week, but that's kind of like the thing that's the most interesting. Is where we close in on the week. Is it above the highs or is it below? And then are we like going higher or not? And that's kind of the thing. Like, is this a bull flag or is it a breakdown from weekly resistance? And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. We got weekly resistance, a breakdown, but we're also kind of at that last breakout point on Bitcoin above this weekly resistance up bar. So we're kind of just consolidating, and we're either going up or down. And I would like to think that maybe we could test the bottom end of this range, and then we break out to the upside according to the forecast here. And then using the divergence oscillator. So this is two oscillators in one. I got the Ready Aim Fire and the Fu Manchu Cypher B, and we're looking at the 4 hour on the weekly. And this green dot's giving me hope that this weekly close is going to look good on the S&P 500. This green border doesn't mean anything, but it's saying to look for a bullish divergence coming. And this is roughly a MACD kind of, we're looking for a cross. And then looking at Bitcoin, it's very similar. This one's saying get ready for a bearish turn, but by the fact that it hasn't turned given a red dot, I'm staying bullish. And it could give it on this weekly close. If it does, I'm pretty much jumping ship. But we're also looking like we could rotate to the upside here on the 4 hour. So we have to see the weekly close, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, as a position trader, where's this weekly close? And depending on the weekly close, could invalidate the forecast. And that's how I'm thinking about going into this weekly close.